it sounds like something that we need or would be very beneficial in order to maintain freedom and liberty and reduce the possibility for government to interfere with our lives.
Monero Talk is sponsored by Cake Wallet, a trustless, open-source wallet that gives you the keys to your crypto. Invoice, donate, and trade your Monero with peace of mind, piece of cake. And by StealthyX, an instant exchange where privacy is a top concern. Go to stealthyx.io to instantly exchange between Monero and 450 plus assets without having to create an account or register and with no limits, making StealthyX a simple way to purchase Monero with crypto anonymously. Monero Talk is also made possible from contributions by viewers and listeners like you, and supporting us is easier than ever by typing in monerotalk.crypto in your monero.com or Cake Wallet send address field to send us a tip. This week on Monero Talk. Douglas Tuman was live at the Libertarian National Convention with Dr. Bradley Rauch, a supporter and physician of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dr. Rauch discusses his reasons for supporting Kennedy, including his belief that the country is moving towards totalitarianism and losing freedoms like free speech. He shares personal experiences of facing persecution for his views on topics like vaccines and COVID-19 protocols. Dr. Rauch emphasizes the need for new leadership to restore integrity in the government. He also expresses support for cryptocurrency and digital cash like Monero as a means to maintain financial freedom and prevent government overreach. Monero Talk starts now.
All right, I'm here with Dr. Bradley
Rauch.
Bradley Rauch at the Libertarian National Convention. Doctor, what are you doing here today?
I'm here representing American Values 24. It's the super PAC that supports the presidency of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
And why are you so passionately supporting RFK?
I am because I believe we're at a quintessential moment in history where if we don't have new leadership in Washington, specifically in the White House, I think our country is moving in a direction of totalitarianism. I think we're losing our rights, especially our First Amendment right for free speech. And I support Bobby. I've known him for years. And I believe he's the best choice to help bring integrity back to the White House, to the government, and to save this country.
Give us some insights that you might have as evidence of the fact that we are moving more and more towards totalitarianism. For people that tune into Monero Talk, Monero is all about digital cash, but I feel like there might be some things that you know, that you've experienced, that you have evidence, even if just anecdotal, as to why you have such a belief that we're moving in that direction.
Okay, so I am a physician. I practice functional neurology. I utilize quantum physics, neuroscience. I'm a chiropractor. I put on a conference in 2017 entitled Hope and Healing for Autism and Neurodevelopmental Disorders, How to Raise Healthy Children Naturally. We had amazing speakers from all over the world. As soon as the pharmaceutical industry found out what we were doing, and they thought I was the Antichrist, and they came after me like I was killing babies and offering information that would destroy people's lives.
Did they shut you down, effectively?
No, they didn't, but we had to hire police protection. We had bomb threats, and they discredited me in the national news. I was in the national news just defending the right to share information with parents on how to raise healthy children. Their biggest issue with me, I think, was the fact that we were going to talk about vaccines. I'm not an anti-vaxxer at all. I believe in freedom of choice. If someone wants to get a vaccine, I tell them, have at it. I choose not to. I'm all based on the science. So what happened was that I had to defend myself nationally to being discredited just for the desire to give parents information to raise healthy children naturally. So I've had that happen during COVID. I was turned into OSHA. They tried to shut me down because I didn't wear a mask. I didn't require my patients to wear a mask. I fought what they did against me based on science, and the largest science on the efficacy of masks was done in Denmark. I think it was in 2020 or 2021. 3,500 people showing that masks reduce blood oxygen by 20%, increase cortisol levels, which is stress hormone, weakens the immune system, and does not prevent the viral transmission of disease. So I fought them and I won. I kept my practice open, but I've had personal examples of persecution against me and my practice and what I do based on the fact that I'm interested in people being empowered with information, whether it's healthcare or otherwise. So I know personally that we're losing our freedoms and our rights. I'm a second-generation Holocaust survivor. My parents, my father, experienced totalitarianism and fascism in Austria, thankfully came to the United States. So I've seen a dramatic change occur in this country over the years where we're losing our right to free speech. We're losing our right to communicate with each other. And Second Amendment rights are under pressure as well. I don't own a gun, but I defend completely the right for people to bear arms. So I resonate with libertarians, and I believe that we need to move forward, need to have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the White House. I've known him for years. I've worked with him as his physician, and I know him to be one of the most amazing, genuine people above corruption, and certainly one of the smartest people I've ever met.
Do you love coffee and Monero as much as we do? Consider making gratuitous.org your daily cup. Pay with Monero for premium fresh beans, and if you like what you taste, send a digital cash tip directly to the farmers that made it possible. Proceeds help us grow this channel, Gratuitous, and Monero.
I think I was telling you earlier, I'm really hoping to somehow meet him or talk to him. And if I do, I want to ask him, well, a bunch of questions, but really what I want to know is what his opinion of untraceable, anonymous digital cash is. I've heard him talk about cash, traditional cash, the importance of having cash in society as a tool for people to transact without government surveillance. But I want to hear his opinion of the digital form of that and whether or not ultimately he would support the adoption of such tool because it can be used for bad things as well as good things. Absolutely. Or if he would think there needs to be some measured approach, or whether it's let people use whatever form of payment they want to use to transact. And do you have any insight into how he may respond to something?
So I can't speak for him, and I can't answer that question. But knowing him for many years, I know he supports free market capitalism. I know he supports less government. I know he's a big fan of cryptocurrency in general. I can't answer about specifically Monero, but I will do my best to help you have a personal meeting with him where you can ask him that question directly.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'll do my best.
What do you think of digital cash as a tool? You're giving personal examples that you've had where perhaps it could get to a point where the government tried to control how you're transacting for purposes of preventing you from receiving funding or things like that, or preventing you from investing in certain things. Do you think something like Monero or whatever may be, a digital cash utility, is something that's necessary for a free and open society to function?
I believe, based on what we've seen in other countries, like in Canada, where they had the truckers, and then the Canadian government froze the assets and the bank accounts of those truckers. They couldn't pay alimony. They couldn't pay their mortgage or their rent. It was horrendous. So I personally believe in the fact that I think a venue like Monero is something that we need. Now, just like I support free speech, and although I may not agree with burning the American flag, because I am absolutely a patriot, I defend the right for someone to do that. And so, just like you're saying, Although I'm not well versed in cryptocurrency, I have owned it, and I'm just learning about Monero today from you. From a standpoint of logistics, it sounds like something that we need or would be very beneficial in order to maintain freedom and liberty and reduce the possibility for government to interfere with our lives. So as a physician in practice for 45 years all over the world, I've seen how they use fear and control over the lives that we have as doctors, attempting to do the best we can to help our patients, yet the system is based on fear. If you don't do this, this is going to happen to you. And we want what's best for our patients, but we live in a world and a society in America that, unfortunately, from a healthcare standpoint, has led to the sickest society on planet Earth. And that is the reality, even though we spend more money on healthcare than any other nation on planet Earth. So, yes, in theory, I agree with what you're saying. I do want to learn more about it. I think it sounds amazing to me. And I understand the downside. Just like there's a downside to free speech where you could have the Ku Klux Klan or Nazis that are, I'm Jewish. They could be spewing, kill the Jews. Even with the whole issue in Gaza, I defend the right for Palestinians or any others to support Hamas. I would spend my life working to destroy Hamas and what they represent, but I defend the right for people to have free speech, if that makes sense.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense. And I think we need more politicians out there espousing those views, because the window's getting shifted, right? You have representatives like Senator Warren, who, if she had her way, she would ban Monero. She said things that she would ban privacy cryptos.
Sure.
So having no respect for the free speech elements and thinking that controlling it is a better way, because there's, it can be used for crime, right? Which you could say about any other technology, the internet itself.
I know guns don't kill people. People kill people.
So I just want to see, do you have any thoughts on how politically we get that message out, right? How does that become a message that not just the libertarians espouse, but the Republicans espouse, the Democrats espouse as well? How do we make that a mainstream message where we wake up society to the fact that we need politicians, elected officials that are pro-liberty and pro-liberty tech?
I know exactly how to do that. It has to do with one word that relates to living an extraordinary life. And a dear friend of mine wrote a book, a university president, on creating an extraordinary life. And he said the first step in living and creating an extraordinary life is awareness. Once you become aware, it's pretty tough to become unaware. As a physician, I know in my practice, which is integrative, that we can help people with inflammatory bowel disease or cardiac problems or mental health issues. Not just help, but correct the cause of the problems. I know that. I've been living it for 45 years in practice. Yet, to get that information out is difficult based on the forces out there that don't want that information shared. So how do we do this? We do this through education. We do this through tools like what you're doing right now. So we do have a situation now in the world with the internet, with podcasts. I mean, Tucker Carlson in one day gets more views than all of the former mainstream media. Like we call it media, right? So it's information, it's education. We've got to make the people aware. That's it. That's how we'll do it.
It's an information war.
100%.
Totally agree. Yeah. Thank you so much. I could talk to you for hours.
It's such an honor to be here. And I just want people to know, since my world is healthcare, I want you to know that if you're suffering with mental health issues, anxiety, depression, you got cardiac problems, you've got bowel problems, you've got inflammatory bowel disease or autoimmunity or inflammation in your body, we have solutions that correct the cause of the problem. And so know that they exist. And the work that we do is cutting edge, based on science.
Where can people find you? And
My practice is on Park Avenue and 85th Street in New York City. It's New York Functional Neurology Associates. Our website is nyfunctionalneurology.com. You could look me up. I've dedicated my life to improving the life and health of the people that we serve. So I work with RFK as far as helping his team and keeping them healthy. And we see lots of kids, lots of people with mental health issues. And we use an integrative approach with physicians and doctors and practitioners from all over the world. We have the solutions. We do, not based on fear, not based on covering up symptoms as has currently done in our healthcare delivery system, but we have real-world solutions based on natural law, working in alignment with the natural design of the body, not against it. And not to knock other forms of healthcare. The vast majority of physicians that I know and doctors in medicine and elsewhere are great people that want to help. They truly do. Unfortunately, we in America have been, let's say, corporate America has influenced
the pharmaceutical company.
Well, yes. And there are drugs that save people's lives. And I want you to know that I'm dedicated, and my friends are dedicated toward awareness of the population to live a healthier life. We have information that's free that people can do that won't cost them anything, that can transform their life and their health. And I'm willing to share that with anybody.
Any way we get you to accept Monero for your medical services?
You know what?
I'm telling you, Pete, that would do something.
And based on getting to know you and this information, I would say the likelihood of that is very strong. We
would add you to XMR Bazaar, where we show all the different vendors that accept Monero. People would be reaching out.
That'd be great. Well, my practice is a cash practice. I do not accept insurance. I worked with the insurance industry for 40 years.
I figured that was the case.
I'm done with that. I can't be part of a system that is so dysfunctional. And so I moved away from that. So I'd say that...
You opted out is what we call it around here in Monero land. It's called opting out.
Oh, I opted out several years ago.
Amazing, man. Such a pleasure meeting you.
This is great. I love you guys. This is wonderful. So thank you for having me. It's been truly an honor.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode. We release new episodes every week. You can find and subscribe to our show on YouTube, Odyssey, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Go to monerotalk.live to subscribe for a full list of places where you can watch and listen. If you want to interact with us, guests, or other podcast listeners, you can follow us on Twitter. And please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps people find the show, and we are always happy to read them. So thanks so much, and we look forward to being back next week.